Good morning, beautiful people. How are you all today? I certainly hope you all have a bit more energy than me, because by golly, I am pooped. I feel like I'm on my last legs. I think I'm really run down at the moment, and this morning I've woken up with what feels like the beginnings of a cold. And it always happens at this time of year. It's the same as autumn. There's so much work going on both with the garden and, you know, things at home, that I end up, I'm burning the candle at both ends. I haven't had a day off. I was thinking about this on my walk down here this morning. I haven't had a day off since Christmas. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And I know that's a recipe for disaster. But the way I'm looking at it at the moment, just feel that moment of the sun getting brighter. The way I look at it at the moment, in about 6 weeks' time, the entire garden will be either sown with seed, planted with the plants, or the structures will be up, or the beds will be ready. It will all be kind of done as we just go into the beginning of June. At the beginning of June, I get the last things planted in terms of the squash, the tomatoes, the peppers, all those really tender things. And then, so about the second week of June, I can have a bit of a break. But it is, yeah, I'm absolutely done in. I'm not sort of saying this as a complaint, or, you know, as a pity party, just as a bit of an explanation of why I'm a little bit, if that's how I'm coming over. Oh, I need to blow my nose. Excuse one moment. That's better. Yes, so I know any of you who are growing a lot of vegetables will be feeling exactly the same as me at the moment, that there's always something needs doing in the garden. There's always another seed to sow. When you're at home, you're continually pricking out, potting on, tending to all the seeds at home. I've got trays and trays and trays of seeds at home. It takes me about half an hour to water them, because I water them very, very gently. So yeah, I know a lot of you will be will understand why it's quite so enervating at this time of year. Anyway, here we are towards the end of April. I'm not sure of the date. It's probably like 26th, 27th, something like that. That heat we had over the Easter bank holiday, that's now gone. We're back to normal, sort of warm. We were supposed to have had 3 days of rain this week, and I saw it forecast and I thought, great, because to be honest, even after I'd had the visit with my friends the other day, which you would have seen in the last video, that evening after they'd gone and I was back at home, that was when I first started to feel really not right. So I thought, great, 3 days of rain, I'm going to stay at home and just work quietly at home, and then come back to the garden. Anyway, we haven't had the rain. They're now saying it's due today, so I need to get a wriggle on. So I haven't really had a proper look at the garden yet to see how it's done in the last few days, because ideally I ought to have watered in the last few days with the cold frame and the seed sown beds, the beds that have had seed sown, because they've not had a drop of water. We need water. So jobs for today. Actually, before I talk about that, I'm just going to take you very quickly over to the park, which is nothing to do with the allotment site. But in the park, I've spoken about it in a couple of videos, I have an adopted pear tree. It's a park that's owned by the council, but which we have a friends group of, a little community group. So we plant lots of things in there. So on my way here, which I'll show you now, I just wanted to go and have a quick look to see how my pear tree is doing and some of the other planting that the community did last autumn. So let's go and have a quick look. It's gusty this morning, so you'll have to excuse the sound. And oh phooey, I'm a bit too late. I just thought I'd come and give you a little catch up of my my adopted pear tree and the other little fruit trees we've got going on here in our community orchard. Oh, the apple is still in blossom. Oh, that's so pretty. So the last time I came down here to show you was, gosh, I think it was about January. So they were all completely bare of leaves. Oh, pretty, 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 pretty. How lovely. Yeah, they were all totally bare, but looking like they were healthy enough. And here's my little adopted pear tree. Actually, let me come the other side because the sun's right in my eyes. But it's, yeah, it looks happy enough, doesn't it? I'm so sorry I've missed the blossom. That's so annoying because actually I've been in the park a few times to enjoy the blossom. Crikey, look at that black cloud up there. Yeah, I've enjoyed the blossom quite a few times, but just in the last few days I haven't been out, so I have well and truly missed it. But yeah, it's looking lush, it's looking healthy. I'm delighted. No sign of any of the rusty spots on these new leaves. I'm guessing that will come later. Gosh, it seems to have gotten taller as well. It's way up there. Brilliant. Oh, I'm delighted it looks so well. They all look well, actually. Another one. So we will continue to care for these trees again this year. Yeah, fabulous. So now just while we're in the park this morning, where are you? I'm going to turn you all round to me here. Oh, that sun is so bright. Round you come. Oh, it's so bright. Get that sun out of my eyes. I can't get the sun away. Spinning. I'm just going to take you to another little bit of the park to show you something else that's been really gorgeous, but fingers crossed I haven't missed it because I think they were on their way over. But let's go and have a look. I don't know if you remember me telling you, I think it was back in January, how not just do we have our tree plantings, but we also get together as a group and do regular bulb plantings. And I'm just, I think I might have missed the best of them, but can you see the wee tulips underneath this tree? They've been gorgeous, especially on a really bright day. They're not quite black. I don't think I've ever seen a tulip which is actually black, but these have been gorgeous. These are called, stumble, Queen of the Night. They've been absolutely beautiful. And like I say, on the days when you get an idea that way, when the light catches them, they just look amazing. Isn't that a happy sight? So yeah, check out with your local parks and see if you've got a bit of a community group going on down there that does bulb planting. Go along and get yourself involved, and then maybe by next spring you might have some beauties like this. Oh, lovely. Right, I think it's time for me to head back to the garden. So there we go. It's great to see the trees looking at the moment really healthy. There was a little message within our group the other day to remind us all that as we start to get warm and dry again, those of us with an adopted tree may need to start helping with watering again. Let's hope we get some rain to do the watering. But those tulips, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. I'm sorry I filmed them today when they're past their best, but hopefully that will give you an idea of how lovely these little areas are, and what a great job that the community do within a park which we don't own. It's not our park, it's for everyone, but it's just really nice to give back in that way. So, right, today's jobs. This rain is supposed to be coming at 3, so I'm going to work, just bang through my list and hopefully get everything done by 3. But my main things today are some seed sowing, which obviously I'm going to show you in a second. I've got my little list here. Yeah, it's seed sowing, seed sowing, seed sowing, and I'm going to see if I can go and rake up either in that park that I was just showing you, or just around the site where we had that big mow the other weekend with our community work day. There's quite a few clumps of grass clippings around the place, so I thought I'd go out with my barrow and my rake and rake more up as a mulch, because if we get this rain, oh please let us get this rain, then I can hopefully get all those beds that have already been seeded, get them mulched. Right. I need a new battery. Someone got a spare battery I can borrow while mine recharges. Come on, let's sow some seeds. The first things I'm going to sow today, in this kind of weird squinty light, are my Flint corns. Yay! So, I've got a little bank baggie here of my own saved seed. Let me show you more closely because they are so beautiful. Look at the colours. Aren't they gorgeous? I don't want to tip them down too much and lose them. So obviously this is seed saved from the corns last year. That's fabulous. But I also had sent to me, a little packet of glass gem, which is what these are. It's glass gem, it's a Flint corn, by Lisa. Thank you so much, Lisa. If you're not familiar with Flint corn, it's very, very similar to sweet corn. Grows in pretty much an identical way. However, it isn't sweet, and it's not for eating, as you would say with sweet corn, where you knock it straight off the cob, a little bit of butter or whatever. It's specifically for drying, for storage, and then you can use it one of two ways. Either as a popping corn, which I do, so it's a really nice little snack in the winter when there's so little else growing, or you know, a lot of the stored stuff, if you can't be bothered cooking, I grab a handful of the little beautiful glass gems, chuck them in a pan with some oil, boop, 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 got my popcorn. But the other thing, one of the main things I use it for is I grind it down to give myself a sort of flour, and it's great for things like if you're making any type of little, say, bean burgers or patties of any description, as a really nice coating for those, much as you would say with, say, something like breadcrumbs, but it's beautiful, gives a lovely crunchy coating. So now you can sow them direct. If you want to sow them direct, around about now, our soil is warm enough now to sow them direct. However, I do them as a follow-on crop for something else, and the something else isn't out yet. So I want to get them started. So I'll start them in my little loo rolls. I'll probably, for now, start them in the cold frame. We'll have to look at how temperatures are, because do you remember all my geranium cuttings I brought down and potted up? I had them in the cold frame, and then literally, boom, overnight we went really, really warm, hot. I brought them over to the shed now. They were not happy with that heat. Obviously the contrast from where they were at home. Anyway, so yes, I'll probably put these in the cold frame. Probably for the next anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks, depending on the weather and how they grow. But then there'll come a stage, where are we now? Towards the end of May, I'll have them out of the cold frame. I'll just sit them on the deck, and then they will go in after I've harvested my garlic. And the garlic harvest for me, well, it always used to be beginning of July, but by then I get rot. So I've brought that harvest forward by a couple of weeks each year to find the optimum time to harvest where I don't get the rot, but where they're fat enough, which for me is around about the end of May, beginning of June. Anyway, so yes, I think what I'll do first, I'm going to label these 2 different lots, because my seed originally came to me, I think it was 3 years ago, from Michelle in New York. Thank you so much, Michelle. So this seed I now have is the sort of the great-grandchildren generation. So I'm going to label them just to see if there's any difference in having fresher seed or seed from, you know, the seed company rather than my own that's been saved from generation to generation. I don't see why there would be a difference, but, you know, there's no harm in putting a stick in to mark them and having that knowledge. So I think I've got 20 seeds here from Premier Seeds. I don't know how much they cost because I didn't buy them. Like I say, these this year are a gift from Lisa. I'm sure they weren't cheap because Premier Seeds aren't, but it would be interesting to know because frankly one of my own cards will give me 100 plus seeds. So it's back to what I'm always saying about, you know, when you're doing your big harvesting in the autumn, always be thinking to yourself, which plant can I set aside for my seed harvest? And then over the years, you'll save yourself a small fortune. So I'm just putting these in, barely, about 1 centimetre down. Yeah, just poking them in. I'll give them a little bit of a covering. Obviously this compost I got out of the bag and put into the loo rolls a couple of days ago, just before my friends got here. So it's been sitting out and it's obviously dried out somewhat, so I'll give it a really, really good soak when I take it over to the cold frame. And while we're at the cold frame, let's have a quick look to see how everything is going in there, because it's kind of, is it 3 weeks since I did a big sowing of all the brassicas and flowers and herbs and whatnot. So yeah, let's go and have a look. Good, they're all happy in there. So I've just given them a bit of a soaking. I've actually watered the rest of the cold frame, but my goodness, that can of water I've just used up, that was the very, very last drops. It wasn't even a full can. The very last drops from my water pot. It is now absolutely empty. Gosh, we're desperate for rain. So I've taken out from here for now the peas, which are now on top of the cold frame. They don't need to be in the cold frame. They're pretty tufty little things. And actually, all these need planting. So I am planning to do that on my next visit. So I'll get these planted into the ground, plus I'm going to do a load of direct sowings. But that is for my next visit, like I say. I've got a long enough list today to concentrate on, so they can wait. And then with all the others, let's have a little look through the roof. Coming in this way. Oopla. So these 2 trays were herbs. I can't read the labels from here, but I'm just finally starting to see a few bits coming up. This was all my flowers in this tray, and again, just the first glimpses of things. And I'm so glad, because there was nothing showing about 3 days ago, and I was getting pretty paranoid, because like I said, I think it's been about 3 weeks since sowing. Then this is all the brassicas, and again, well, my goodness, there are massive gaps. It's really rather disconcerting. Yeah, there are some just not showing at all, and then obviously there are others, like this little clump here, racing away. Now, before I came down here this morning, I was just checking in my notebook to see where I was at this time last year, and obviously every year is a bit different because of the weather, but I generally do sow things around the same sorts of times. And according to my notebook, in about a week's time, this time last year, I was re-sowing all my brassicas because they completely failed. And it's beginning to look like I might have to do that again this year. And then right tucked here in the corner, that's the mountain tea. Again, absolutely no sign. Actually, let's just come in up and under and get even closer. No, there really isn't any sign. But then look at this tray, for instance. This whole tray here, so 15 cells. It's all purple sprouting broccoli. It's all the same batch of seed. And I know I sowed them because I filmed myself sowing them. Right. Trying not to panic. At least this year I will have some lovely peas. If the pea moths stay off. Oh, aren't they looking lovely already? Oh, aren't peas such a gorgeous, gorgeous green? Right, let's get on with some more sowing. And now it's time to sow one of my most highly prized, most loved seeds of them all. It's the Coco de Paimpol. Oh, anyone who's been following my channel for however short a time, however long a time, you'll all know that I'm absolutely nuts about this little bean. Oh, sorry, wisps of hair. Honestly, the first time I ate it, I couldn't believe how gorgeous it was. The first year I grew it, I had maybe 10 plants, 2 of which I saved for seed saving. This year I will be sowing, 50. Okay, so 50, it sounds like a lot of plants, doesn't it? But what you have to remember is I'm sowing for food for the whole year. This isn't just for, a few beans over the summer or into the autumn. This is part of my food supply for an entire year. So if I've got 50 plants, let's think of that as 1 plant a week. I know roughly how much each plant will give me in terms of the produce. And each plant will give me enough for a good couple of meals, depending on how I have them. If I have them on their own, one plant, I could scoff 1 plant in an afternoon. But generally speaking, that's enough to be able to have them in 2 or 3, if not more, meals throughout the course of a week, throughout the whole year. Plus, give me enough on each plant to save a couple of pods per plant for my seeds for next year. And they are such a beautiful little seed. Look, so pearly white, so smooth. Oh, they really are like little jewels. So I'm going to do them in pots, as I have done for the last couple of years. Again, just like the Flint corn, it's because they're going to follow something else in one of my beds. Wind's picking up, the sky's getting darker. Can you hear me? So, because my space is so small, now I know some people think, it's not small, it's a big space, but it's small in terms of if you're trying to feed yourself for the entire year, pretty much just from this garden. So a lot of the beds, wherever I can, I like to have something that's growing over the winter, and when it comes out I can pop something straight in. So these will follow the broad beans. And again, one of the reasons for doing the broad beans in the autumn is to give me a slightly earlier harvest, so I can get the broad beans harvested and out and get these beautiful beans in, which effectively means I'm getting 2 growing beds for the price of 1. It's great. These things, they do take a bit of planning and a little bit of sort of just a bit of experience over the last couple of years of when things will come out, when things can go in. If you're doing some Coco de Paimpol this year, I know I've sent seeds out to loads of folk. I wish I could have sent more, but it's only so much. You can either do them direct. If you do them direct, I would say maybe wait till that first week of May. Just give that soil a little bit longer to warm up. Otherwise, start them in pots now. Pop them in your coldframe or an unheated greenhouse. As long as the greenhouse or your cold frame isn't getting too hot. You don't want these to get too hot. Once it goes above about 20 and they're just little seedlings, they won't enjoy it. So the next cocoa harvest is underway. I'm so happy, I'm so happy. But I've got another 40 something pots to sow. Oh, and also someone was mentioning this the other day about me sowing in pots and what a waste of compost. It's not a waste of compost, because think about it, all of this whole thing is going to go into the ground. So it's all adding, isn't it? It's all adding to the organic matter that's going into my soil. And the more organic matter I get into that heavy clay, the better. So, right, this whole table full of pots. It'll take me half an hour to sow them. It'll take me half an hour to get them all to the cold frame and in the cold frame. So I'd better shut up and get on, hadn't I? Ugh, just legged it. Oh, well, the rain has come about 3.5 hours earlier than was forecast. So I think that's paid to filming for now. But I've got loads of jobs still to do, so I'm just gonna crack on with them in the rain. Yeah, I really want to get done today what I've oh, it's getting a bit heavier, so I was just listening to the rain. I really want to get finished today what I'd planned, because I've got a feeling I'm gonna not feel much like it for the next couple of days. So I want to push on today, get this stuff done, and then hopefully leave the garden to the rain for a couple of days and then come back. And I've got some big jobs left, like opening the last of the beds and starting to put the structures up. So, well, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll get a chance to bring you guys back out into the garden in a minute if this is just passing. Fingers crossed. I really don't need the rain yet. Hooray! It was a passing shower. The wind is picking up though, and it is pretty black up there, apart from that one little spot where the sun is. So yeah, I'm going to just crack on. I'm just going to show you this bud, but I thought before I do, because I'm standing here, look at my gorgeous rose bush. Isn't it looking pretty? Oops, sorry, pretty already. Yeah, I mean, I hardly have to do a thing with this each year. A bit of pruning, but look. Beautiful buds forming already. Absolutely gorgeous. Just so many buds up there. Beautiful. And here, buds and a grey sky. Oh, and there goes, look at that sky. But yeah, just a little bit of a prune. And then I do deadhead throughout the summer just to encourage more and more blooms to come. And it does keep going right through until pretty much nearly Christmas. Oh, look, I've just noticed the first ones are, trying to come out. Gorgeous, and that one there, so pretty. Isn't that a beautiful thing to behold? Can you hear the bees buzzing around as well? They're in the purple sprouting. I have not been able to keep on top of eating the purple sprouting. I've been giving it away, I've been scoffing it, but yeah, it is starting to blow now, but that's fine. I will leave it for... I always disappear when I try to film them. Yeah, leave it for the bees. But that's made me so happy to see. Right, I was going to show you the spuds, wasn't I? The reason being, do you remember when I got all this material, this grass scrapings, and I dumped them here for now with the idea that once we've had rain, they will come over here to mulch onions. Well, I started to move it from here to, top bed over there, but the potatoes are all coming through, and they're actually coming through this grass, so I'm going to leave it now, and then as and when I need to earth up, I'll just drag that earth down over them. But they're all sprouting, both you can see on this side, these are the main crop. This is Cara, to halfway down the row, and then beyond the halfway mark are those ones I free cycled from that lovely lady, I think her name was Sarah, in my hood. And then these are all the news. They're also all sprouting. Happy sight, happy sight. Ah, and in case you're wondering, I've been pricking out at home. I've been pricking out celery and celeriac, and all I do with the any excess compost that's kind of used and my little paper pots and what have you, I do this each year. I just dump them somewhere, anywhere in the garden. So yeah, that's all just dumped in with the new spuds, which are all coming through, which is great to see. I'm going to have to move this metal mesh soon, otherwise they'll be growing through it. But for now, I'm going to take myself off to the other end of the site, that away, go to the orchard and see if I can get a load more grass clippings, and I'm just going to pile them all up on the end of that bed there, because that's going to be one of the last beds for me to open. I'm just going to make a massive pile of it, and then as and when I need some mulch, I will bring it to whichever bed needs it. The first of which will be these onions, both the reds and the whites. I wonder if you're going to be able to see through the Enviromesh. Can you see they've come up? Oh, I don't think you can see through very well, can you? Let me take you to the end. There are a few that didn't quite make it into the tunnel because my tunnels are always too short. But there we go. They're all looking happy, aren't they? So they were planted about 3 weeks ago. When I plant them, probably just below the surface of the soil, maybe an inch down. But yeah, they're all sprouting happily, and considering how dry it's been, likewise these, the whites, yeah, considering how dry it's been, I'm delighted to see that they're all sprouting, because really where they're sitting in the top of the, another one missed the nets, where they're sitting in the top of the soil, there really isn't much moisture there. So I did, after that long baking hot weekend we had over Easter weekend, I did give them one watering one evening, just because I thought they'd probably be struggling in the top of the soil there. And anyway, they seem to have rewarded me by putting on a big spurt. Oh, it'll be great to get these nets off soon. Yay. I do like to see my plants and not nets. Right, time to go and get some more grass cuttings. Well, the weather obviously doesn't know what it wants to do. There've been numerous showers they've passed through. Nothing really to write home about. Nothing that is going to have done anything to my water butt situation. And now it's getting really warm and sunny. Who knew? It is supposed to start raining this afternoon, then all tonight and all day tomorrow. Hallelujah if it happens. Anyway, whatever the weather, I'm going to go home. I've done quite a few more jobs now, and actually I've managed to clear that list that I wanted to do today, which is great. I'm really, really pleased. But yeah, I feel absolutely wretched. So I'm going to be sensible. Like I say, I think probably if I have got some sort of cold, which is what I feel like I've got, I've no doubt that for the next couple of days I'll feel even worse. So it's great to get those things out of the way. And now I think I'll just plan for a weekend really quietly at home. I've got 2 sewing jobs I need to, I was going to say start. Actually, one of them I do. I've got 2 sewing jobs that I need to get done this weekend. One of which is started and I'm halfway through. The other, I can't speak today. I'm really done in. Oh my goody goodness. Yeah. Anyway, the point is, that's enough for today. You know, there's no point killing myself. Although on the other hand, I do have to get on and do stuff. I can't take a week off sick. This is ridiculous, either from the garden or from the jobs at home. So, good, it's out of the way. couple of days at home now, quiet, to give my knees a rest, hopefully give my body a bit of a rest, get the sewing, SEW, needle and thread sewing jobs done. And then Monday, I've got loads to do and loads of it that I'm really excited about. So, yeah, I'm going to rest, gather a bit of strength for Monday, because on Monday, all being well, or it won't be on Monday when you see it, in the next video, I'll actually be putting my first seeds in the garden. Oh no, they're not my first seeds, are they? Go and do Lally. Oh, hello, George. I'm not going to move to show you, but there's a wee feral cat on our site. He's a really beautiful boy. He's mostly white, little spots of ginger. I've christened him George because he looks like quite a boy. And when I see him, I do feed him, and it just so happens there's a little pot of food on the floor. Hey, George. He, like I say, he's feral. I really want to show him to you. But what's really, really sweet is, like a lot of the time when I'm here in the garden, I'm on my own, because it's in the week time, and it's really, really quiet. And the other day, it was so lovely. I was just quietly working away in a bed. I can't even remember what I was doing now. Might be when I was tying up the broad beans. No, because that was, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is, I turned and looked just to my left, and there he was sitting on my path, just sitting there looking at me, maybe about 2 meters away. And as I turned and I sort of said, hello, George, he didn't run away. He's so sweet. He's so lovely. Anyway, I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. Ah, yes, I was talking about getting some seeds in on Monday. I'd completely forgotten, of course. I've put my carrots, parsnips, what have you in. I suppose why I'm excited for Monday is it's because it's the beginning of the whole month of May, when the vast majority of my seeding, my direct seeding, happens. So all the legumes, my beans, ooh, fennel, this salady stuff. Anyway, I'm really, really excited about it, and I'm just hoping that I can just not be ill. So I'm going to say cheerio to you all, and I think for the rest of today I'm going to curl up on the sofa with a book, really quiet, and hopefully next time I see, well, hopefully it won't be too long before I see you, and hopefully by then I'll have got a bit of energy back and feel more like my normal self, and just crack on through this crazy spring period in the garden. I hope you're all feeling on top of wherever you're at with your sewings and bits and bobs. Don't forget, stop and have a rest every now and again. I know, pot, kettle, all that. Alright, my lovelies, I will see you soon, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves and make the most of your beautiful days out in your gardens. I'm going to go and cuddle George now. I don't think we'll ever get to a cuddle stage, but you never know. I'm just going to have some quiet time watching him. Bye for now.